In the heart of our great nation, where the strength of our communities is built upon the foundation of strong and loving families, an urgent crisis is unfolding. Child Protective Services, CPS, an institution designed to safeguard our most vulnerable, has in many cases betrayed its noble mission. Too often, families are torn apart not by neglect or abuse, but by systemic failures and corruption. We can no longer stand idly by as these injustices continue. We are here to give a voice to those who have been isolated, to shine a light on the corruption, and to rally our fellow citizens in this critical fight for justice. Every day, countless families are caught in a web of bureaucracy and abuse of power, their lives disrupted and their bonds shattered. Children, who should be nurtured and protected, are instead placed in situations that can be just as, if not more, harmful than the circumstances from which they were taken. Parents, often bewildered and powerless, face insurmountable odds as they fight to reunite with their children. This is not the America we believe in. We cannot allow these injustices to persist. Our mission is to educate, to inform, and to inspire action. We promise to bring you daily updates on CPS, exposing the truth and fighting for reform. We must remember that the future of our nation depends on the strength and unity of our families. By standing together, we can hold CPS accountable and ensure that it fulfills its true purpose, protecting children and preserving families. This is a fight we must not and will not lose. We are committed to saving our families and securing a brighter future for all. The road ahead is challenging, but with your support, we can make a difference. Together, we will bring hope to those who have lost it and ensure that justice prevails. Let us unite with unwavering resolve and a sense of patriotic duty to safeguard the integrity of our families and the future of our nation.
I'm going to get this up on my YouTube. Hey, hello. We had a little, let's just call it a little technical difficulties this morning. Now, of course, it's the day I sent out invites to everybody I could think of. But my friend Pam, if you can join the stream, you can do it. Darren Gay is usually the one that sets us up. So, goodness gracious. So I don't know if you'll be able to get in easily because he's not here, what have you. But anyways, of course, this is what I was talking about as well. Is I wonder if I can get y'all on where I can see the chat. Is usually the one that sets us up. Sorry, guys. I'm going to turn this down. I'm getting it together. I mean. All right. Well, this is what I was talking about with Chris Naylor. I don't know if I'm saying your name right, even Chris, but fact is that I was watching the Theo Von an interview, and I think it was very recent. I think I even wrote down the number of the interview with Cat Stevens. Because, Cat Stevens has been trying to expose this, child trafficking and this for some time, okay? Because it's all about all that stuff tied in together. And they were talking. I love Theo Von, by the way. I'm in Louisiana, just like where he is from. And not that I'm a native to Louisiana or anything, but I thought, won't that give me some brownie points that we can get him some attention, saying, hey, here we are in Louisiana, but look at this problem. So in any case, they're talking back and forth, and they're trying to come up with something where they could be like some good cause that they could come up with. And just like out of the blue, they say autism. Well, I mean, if we can somehow like blow up, like I've got a number for Theo Vaughn, I've got an email or whatever, is somewhere we can blow up his phone and like, hey, not only you could expand this funding and bringing awareness to autism. What about children and parents that are autistic that had their children taken by CPS or something like that? Because, if anybody knows a story about Theo Vaughn, he is, I don't know if he's autistic, but he had a pretty rough childhood. So he feels for people that are going through, hardships, and I'm sure he would completely understand. And since he brought himself up from literally nothing and got himself in there, and look at what he's doing today. He's like he's interviewing Trump, he's interviewing all these famous people. I mean, Joe Rogan. I mean, this is the other person we're talking about, adding in there, like, hey, who, how can we get this attention? And this is what we need. We need attention from these people that are in the media, and they're talking about, and I'm the one that was throwing out that information when the press secretary is talking about, they're going to allow podcasters and these other people to join in to the White House press office. I mean, God forbid if that's something that we didn't strive to do so many years ago through other administrations. And now I see all this happening before us. And the scary thing is that the people that were there and pushing for Trump to get in and trying to get ideas of how to reduce violence across the country, like me and my husband were doing for so many years with our nonprofit. But I mean, technology is so much better now. But instead of being able to be a part of this wonderful change in administration, my husband ends up getting locked up. And to me, that's pretty curious as well, because in 2016, actually on election night, we were thrown in jail in 2016 when Trump won then. And it's like, wow, I think you want to, get to the fact was, why are they trying to shut certain people up? Because they're agitating you because they're exposing the truth about what's been going on with the child trafficking. I mean, oh, is the cartoon like my husband made, is that horrible to you? Well, what's horrible to me is children being abducted through the Child Protective Services and through our Department of Children and Families. And if anybody that has been through it knows that when it first happens to you, you really don't know what hit you. All you can think of is, what can I do to get my kids back right away? And so some of us end up signing these, signing some kind of thing through mediation. I remember we ended up signing something through mediation. It was almost like our public defenders or regional conflict counsel is what I had for the dependency case. Of course, they're court-appointed officers that later, I've never trusted. Never had a trust for attorneys my whole life, and definitely never had the opportunity to pay for one. But this now that's going on with my husband, all because he mentioned a judge that happens to be, with the juvenile justice judge, or does dependency cases, or whatever you call them. But by calling certain names out to say, okay, well, we're going to, this cartoon, of course, like, if you look on the top of Chris's of course TikTok channel was completely disappeared after this happened. Remember, it was Sunday before Trump was inaugurated or whatever, and everybody's thing went down. Well, my things came back up, but Chris's never did and said, somehow his thing was violated or whatever. It's all crap. And to take any blame to the reason that they want to do this is because China might get, into secrets. That's bull crap to me. I'm sorry to say, but it's our own government that we have to be concerned about that is suppressing our freedom of speech. But again, like I say, we have to find the avenues of, and this is what I think a lot of people have done with their posts on TikTok and stuff like that is, okay, so maybe I'm going to put in the hashtag, Trump 2025 or, something like that, where when somebody puts that on, it's going to be in an algorithm, and then we're going to see these things pop up, and more people are going to see what we're posting about child trafficking through CPS and these horrible stories that just go on and on and on, because you have to have some way to get your foot in the door and say, hey, we're parents, and we're not going to take it anymore. But seeing that all that's going on, and the avenues that we've took, like my husband put on a cartoon saying, oh, okay, we're gonna take care of all these pedophile judges or whatever, in an entertainment form. And you can look up at the top of his screen and you can say, this is for entertainment purposes only. Okay. So you can't take anything that's within his post to be real. In fact, I'm almost like, I wanted to go to his channel and I wanted to say exactly what it said, because I didn't know, I don't know what he's doing. And I'm very
Hello.
new to doing any of this. Who's there? Who's there with me? I hear you breathing. No,
Hi,
who is that?
Brenda. It's Pam.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay. So you got your voice in there, but you're choosing not to put your photo on there, maybe, or maybe you weren't able to. Thank you for joining, guys. This is what I want to say. Pam is we met just through like Facebook and stuff like that, because she's another parent that has been trying to get justice for her Kay and Tay, and just a beautiful woman that I had the opportunity to meet this past summer. And and she's getting it done, and that's why, you guys, when I shared the email with y'all and Pam's information, because she's part of this group, and she got a letter from Trump. And like I say, any avenue that we have to move forward and take these steps to getting our information out there and helped with, not just getting our information out there, getting help. And in my opinion, I don't know about you, Pam, but it seems like Trump is the only resource we have, because he's getting things done, and that's what we need, is somebody that's getting done. And Pam, if you'd like, just tell us a little bit about that, or tell us about your story, what happened. You've got the floor if you would like to do that.
Well, thank you. Basically, I've been fighting this fight for. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I don't know why the chat's not up, though. That's kind of freaking me out. But like I said, if Darren gets up, he'll probably fix whatever's going on wrong here. But yeah, I can definitely hear you, and you're coming through loud and clear. Did it give you the opportunity to use the video at all? No? Now I can't hear you, Pam. What happened? Oh, there. I do see the chat.
There.
I do see the chat. Okay, there it is.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it gave me the option, but right now I'm just sitting here. It's been a rough morning, so I'm just getting ready for work and everything. So.
Thank you. I'm so glad that you finally we were able to work this out. I'm so excited.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot going on right now. We've got I don't know who follows Wendy Thomas at all, but she is one of our parent advocates, and she did find a lawyer that is willing to help us with a lot of this. We have to be careful what we put out there because we all know what happened with Nancy Schaefer. So we've got to be careful on what's what, because this particular lawyer did know Nancy Schaefer. They were kind of working like on the same things together in a way, but they didn't really meet up, unfortunately, due to Nancy Schaefer being murdered. But yeah, I've been fighting this fight for about the last 8 years regarding my daughters, Kaylee Bachhoven and Taylor Kramer. And DCS just, they're horrible. They do not have the best interest of our children. As far as I'm concerned, every parent, I believe, should make a call like I did the other day. I called the actual children's department, and I asked them, I was like, I have a question. I said, I'm actually a parent that is fighting DCF, that my children were taken from me, and my rights were terminated. I said, the best interest, you guys are supposed to be in the best interest of the families, correct? And she goes, yeah. I was like, well, then don't you think the best interest of the families would be for the parents that have had their rights terminated to at least have some kind of contact or know what's going on with their children? I feel that that's not very best interest of the children. What's really going on? I've heard a lot of children trafficking going on. How do we know that our children aren't out there being trafficked? I said, so I think we need to open a case and have you all investigated and see where our children are. And I said, so who would I need to call for that? And they said the secretary, which I've got the information written down. I can't remember the person's name offhand. But yeah,
so this was like your local, the local DCF office, or?
It was the 800 abuse number that I called.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is, what I try to do is like anybody that's doing anything, I'm like, hello, here I am. I want to put my hat in the ring, because ultimately, I don't like to really go back and forth. A lot of people say, oh, you can't trust this person, you can't trust this person. You know what? We all have the same problem, and we all want the same solution. So we should like join forces, whoever that might be. Are you still there, Pam?
Yes.
Okay. But so like I say, that's another step, is just calling them and letting them know. But it seems like it's kind of funny, Pam, because I didn't really put that together, but our kids were taken about the same time. It seems like, because my kids were taken 2016 in April. When was yours taken?
About the same time, and then my rights were terminated in 2018.
Yeah, me too. January. Wow. And we're both in Florida,
January,
guys.
Yep. January 2018. Exactly.
Wow.
And then my last visit was June 2018, right before my Taylor Bray's 7th birthday.
Huh. See,
Yep.
and
And we're both in Florida. Gee, Florida don't do it all at the same time, do they? Let's see how many other Florida parents were terminated in the month of January.
Yeah. Yeah. Very, very weird. And it's always like right around the holidays. I remember when
Another
another
weird thing about mine is I don't mind putting her name out there. Jillian Christine DeMarco of Pinellas County, Florida, caseworker at the time. When she TPR'd me, she was pregnant. Well, when she came back after TPRing me, she became the licensed specialist of the agency, Eckerd Alternative Lutheran Services. How in the hell do you become a caseworker that's supposed to be in the best interest of the children, reuniting families together, become an the adoption specialist of an adoption agency? Why are they even connected? You're supposed to be uniting families, not destroying families to unite families with people that they're not even related to. Hello, people.
Yeah, exactly. And it's kind of funny that we I guess you weren't as close to Gainesville, whatever that as I was, but over there, they subject us to going to this. Oh my gosh, now I can't even remember the name of it, but I remember
From
the.
when you were here this summer,
Uh,
I've
n-
got that paper.
I'm sorry.
From when you were here, when you visited, that paper that you gave me,
Okay.
is that what you're talking about right now?
I don't remember what I
That
gave
they
you.
tried to get the parents to go to this reform class or some crap like that?
Oh yeah, it was something that I when I
Yep.
got out of jail. Yeah, I got out of
Yep.
jail and I'm like, this is what they're passing out at jail. That's what that was. I forgot about that. No, what I'm talking about is though how you're saying that they're sending these families. Okay, so once you agree to like a case plan or something like that, and you say, okay, well, we're going to send the kids to these counselors, you're going to do a psychological evaluation. And this was done to all of us. But then when we looked up this, it's Dr. Abel's. And well, I don't know why the name is not coming to me, but it is in Gainesville. And I don't know if it has something to do with that meridian, but I looked it up, and their main focus is adoption. So why are you sending my kids to both to different counselors? And my son was like, Mom, she's asking me questions. You know, he'd come to a visit and say, I don't want to see her. She's asking me a question. And ultimately, fast forward to the TPR, this is the crazy lunatic that was saying that my son didn't want to go with his brother or didn't like just making up lies about my son. And the thing is that they don't let the children talk for themselves. Did you ever notice that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Or they try to finagle, scare them into coming to court.
Yeah.
Because my daughter was ready to come to court and everything. And then all of a sudden, after I couldn't talk to her for a week and a half, 2 weeks, she didn't want to come to court all of a sudden. She was scared. She didn't want to talk in front of nobody. She was, yeah, well, my daughter's never been scared of nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And they pussified her, so whatever.
Now, was
Totally
your
brainwashed.
children autistic?
Nope.
Okay. Well, the
Now
thing
they're
is
trying
that
to say that my younger daughter is got something from her father, like manic, not like
uh,
schizophrenic or
uh,
whatever, or split
compulsive
personality or
disorder or
some
something like
bullshit.
that. I know my daughter had like obsessive compulsive disorder.
Schizophrenia or some shit, yeah.
Um,
Ain't
but
nothing but
it's
fucking worried about being away from her mother is all. Give her back to her mama and she'll be just fine.
yeah, exactly. And that's what my sage would be doing. Like she's like, Mom, she would tell us at the visits, like, Mom, I want to be at court. I'm going to tell that judge that I want to go
Yep.
home and this and that, right? And she was all excited about going. And then when I look, when I go to court and notice my kids aren't there,
Yep.
and I read the whatever they write up later on, they said they felt it was in the best interest of the children that she did not come because she was confused. She didn't know, like it's confusing her. Is it?
Yeah.
It's like,
No, the system is confusing them. That's when they start with the brainwashing. Is right when as soon as they can,
mhm, mhm.
they start drugging them and brainwashing them and doing whatever they can to make their minds. I
Right,
wish
exactly.
I had some of the papers. Damn. Let's see, because there's a few things I want to.
Yeah, and for some reason, I was gonna bring my some of my paperwork out here this morning. I ended up cleaning everything up. Ended up um taking a trip to New Orleans, and that's the other thing I noticed. Pam, do you ever notice this? Is that they tried to keep like either locking up the parents or doing stuff to keep the parents like constantly away from the fact that, hey, my children are gone. This is my main fight, is to get my kids back. Yet you're throwing all this other stuff at us to keep us off track. You know. Why can't I think of the name of that place? It's bothering me. I almost want to go get my because that's what I say. I used to write everything down. I have to keep track of all this stuff, all this crap. And
Did
I
you
mean,
put the emails out there already? The email and the thing from what we got from the Trump thing?
yes, I did, and I don't know, like, I don't know how many people followed up on it, but
I
I've
don't
always
know
kind
either.
I, I was, and if any of y'all need it, that's what I was gonna say. And do I even have that information in front of me? Because that's what we were saying. If she has an avenue, this is another avenue. You've got an email, what? And Trump is actually, and I noticed, Pam, that I was also getting what do they set you up with Telegram?
Yeah,
Um, so where, like, are those telegrams actually like getting to Trump? Because I noticed it's got the
I
same.
don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out because yesterday I got one and like the wording wasn't very proper from what I think, but whatever, it could have been just a misprint real quick, because it was a quick whatever, but we'll see. I mean, me, I don't care because I don't care who knows my story because I've got nothing to hide. I
Right.
have, you know what I mean? So people keep saying, "Oh, you got to watch what you put out there. You got to watch who you say to your story here." No, I don't. Why do I have to watch who I say to? I have nothing to hide. My story, my kids were stolen from me over lies and false allegations from a lying piece of shit caseworker named Jillian Christine DeMarco. And I have nothing to hide. And she wants to she drug my name through the mud over lies and false allegations. So I'm going to expose her for the lying, child trafficking piece of shit that she is.
Yeah. And I think it has a lot to do with what happened with Chris, is because this Jason Katz, that was the casework supervisor on our case throughout the entire case, and then later was still caseworker after our rights were terminated, going to Charlotte County cops when I seen my daughter in deplorable conditions, and she's begging me to get her out of there. And then he goes and tells the cops all these lies about me and my husband. Oh, we had a lewd and lascivious case, and
Right.
we're sovereign citizens, and all this crap coming out of his mouth. So once I got out of prison because of that, I decided to put a defamation suit against him, and you can do it through like a small claim. But the fact was is that I did, and what happened was very strange, that he goes to I know where he works now, at Alachua Academy. Now, Alachua Academy is a very strange place, if you ask me. It's one of these institutions that take children or girls that are either have delays or have been in trouble with the law. It's a juvenile Department of Justice, juvenile justice crap program. And now
Right.
he's heading up that. So when I put the lawsuit in, they're going to have to go serve them papers right there where he works. And he must have been so steamed about that, because I mean, my life has been a pretty living hell since that. I mean, they're arresting me for no reason, and they're arresting my husband for a cartoon. He's constantly looking at what I'm doing on TikTok. I mean, who's giving the judge this information? Because obviously, the judge in Dixie County, Jennifer Johnson, that now thinks my husband's a threat to her. And says that her life is ruined because of my husband. I mean, what are they trying to do? Just like make us, wow, just snap? I mean, to listen to that sentencing and to listen to that trial, it was like unbelievable. I'm sorry. Like, I even lost my train of thought, because it gets me excited. But it doesn't make sense. And then what you figure is, since she's a juvenile justice judge or whatever, she's sending the people over to Alachua Academy, and there's Jason Katz taking these kids, and God forbid they house up to 28 girls, but I've heard this place is like a prison, or worse than a prison. And that's again another point that me and Chris were always saying, hey, our kids are being treated worse than prisoners. At least prisoners are able to call up their family, you know. I don't know what you think about that, but it's like, it's definitely worse than prison, and prison's not very easy. So what else? But yeah, we gotta throw out that if Pam, if there's any way you can come back tomorrow, and we can like throw up, have Darren throw up the email that we were talking about, and I actually have it right here, actually. What was it? It was Trump suggestions, something like that. I don't know. I think Pam bowed out, but let me see. I had it there, and I put it in I believe in our group chat, and I mean so this is we're two moms from Florida, and we wanted to really start a whole thing, and then like we were once I went to see Pam after I went through Dixie County, my husband had already been extradited over there to Dixie County on this ridiculous charge of, oh, what? You made a cartoon talking about pedophile judges and the judges are being executed? Is that bother you in some way? I mean, is that bothersome? What bothersome to me is the reality of children that are being torn away from their families and they have no choices in the matter. I mean, you see people kicking and screaming and just the horrible stuff. And it gets back to that other thing that I seen, seen them coming down and arresting Vinny at work. If y'all seen that, they played that, was that yesterday or something, or the day before? I mean, literally, he's got to wear an ankle monitor and constantly be a subject to some crap while his kids are God knows where in going through this horrible thing. And then he's trying to God forbid make a little money working this job that is, we're trying to get by, and it's not easy to do, but yet they're going to come to his work. He's like, what's going on? Like, he didn't show any resistance or anything like that. He's like, I don't really understand. Can you speak my lawyer? And they rough us up and they beat us up, and it's just like over and over again. But again, and somebody asked like what Chris Naylor, he's asking what the topic was today, but I wanted to say, because through all this and through thick and thin, I mean, we don't want to get off track, because I don't know about you, but I believe in God, and I believe that he does listen to prayer. And I know that there's been so many times I'm like, God is just, forgotten about us or whatever. But the truth is, God says he'll never leave and forsake us. And he also would talk about forgiveness. And I noticed this was something Jim Carrey was talking about too. Forgiveness for the people that have done us wrong. And y'all know that this is a very difficult thing for any of us parents to try to fathom. Forgiving the people for doing this to our families and ripping us apart. But you think about it, is that when Jesus was up on the cross or whatever, what did he say? He says, forgive them, for they know not what they do. And do they know what they do? Or whether they do or they don't, it's sure evil. Okay, there's evil has taken over control of these people because they were weak. And that's my point, is you just got to stay strong. And you have to have faith that somewhere down the line, this hell has got to end, because this is hell on earth to all of us that are screaming from the top of our lungs, doing everything we can imagine, calling everybody, writing everybody, doing this for all many years. And then you get to a point where it's like, you think you're getting somewhere, and then it's a big letdown, another letdown, another letdown. And how many times, I don't know that you guys have, but I've like want to give up. I'm going to give up. At least once in a while, you're going to have a week where you're just freaking laying there and thinking, man, I just don't want to do anything. I just don't want to do anything today. But, what you have to do though is you have to take that time, maybe take a break from, the everyday, fight, and take time for yourself, because you literally will lose your mind, people. You will lose your mind. Take it from one who knows. And of course, even as a kid, people say, because I was like, and that's why I bring up Theo Fawn again, because he, a lot of times you notice he'll talk about how what he, became a comedian or whatever. He was always trying to make his mom laugh, because they had a rough life growing up. And even though she was a well-educated woman, she was constantly working to help her family. I mean, some horrible story about his sister needing an organ, and they had, they were living in these horrible places because they were putting all their money into trying to save his sister's life, which they were successful at doing that. But all he wanted to do was make his mom laugh. And so a lot of times that's, I believe that to be true, that laughter is the best medicine. You have to take a situation that is horrible, and sometimes, we can make light of things, and you got to make time for yourself, and you got to have some type of joy in your life, even if it's the joy of a little things like taking a day off, and eating a treat or whatever. I know, like, and I'm a big believer in the practice of taking care of your body and mind. And even like when you get like, I'm an older parent, but I mean, there's so many studies that will show you just even walking every day can help your endorphins or whatever it is to keep your mind healthy. I mean, my mom, she was always very healthy when I was growing up, but died at a very young age of 65. I mean, she had all blown out, dementia, Alzheimer's. Okay. And I couldn't imagine that, I'm getting closer to that age, and that's why it's so important to eat healthy, live healthy. I mean, all that junk food tastes so good, but I'm telling you, what are you going to get when you go to jail? Okay, what's going to be the commissary that you get there? It's all junk food, all that crap that you go buy at the gas station. That's what a lot of girls will make fun of that. Okay, we're going to spend this much money on gas station food, and that's really what you're getting. And then they want to say that they're giving these prisoners nutritious meals. It's crap, okay? Listen to my husband say, anything white seems to be like bad things to eat, like bread. You got your rice. Rice is not good for you. Sorry, guys. And it's going to make you fat. But in any case, the only white thing I could think of is cauliflower. Okay, that's good to eat, and that's good for you. And you're not going to get any fresh vegetables in jail or prison. I mean, you dying for if you can get a freaking apple or a banana. That would be like, that's a fucking treat. Anyways, excuse my language, but well, hopefully Darren's doing okay. And I know there's some other people that have been dealing with medical problems as well, like Gunnar. And like I say, I mean, your kids are counting on you, okay? Because don't give up. And I know there's some statistics out there of how parents that had their children taken away, parents that are veterans that had their children taken away. The statistics for committing suicide is way up there. And just think about that, though. If you're thinking about doing something like that, you got to reach out and let people know that you're feeling like crap, and you just don't want to go through it anymore. But just remember that if you give up, that means they win, and we don't want them to win. We want to be the winners in this game, and we can treat it like a game of chess or something like that. they make this move, we're going to make another move. And our moves, as me and my husband have always did it every step of the way, was always to follow the law. Okay. If we have a grievance with you, we're going to take it to court. But then we're finding out, well, you're not going to get justice in the court systems, especially when you're calling out one of their own. Like you're calling out a supervisor for CPS. You're calling out a judge that is not following laws, not, and giving promises to your children that they're going to be able to go home, and she doesn't know when they're going to go home. But then that never happens. She happens to leave the case, and then she happens to say all these horrible things. Oh, we're such horrible people. How come nobody ever brought up the fact that we were probably the most successful parents, maybe not only in the United States, but probably the most successful parents in the world, because we homeschooled our children and we took personal responsibility. We didn't get help from our mom or our dad or nothing. We watched our kids every day. We never put them in daycare. We never did any of that. And my three oldest children are doctors or graduated top of their class, cum laude, whatever it's called. And if that's what I'm saying, and I want to be the voice for all the parents that are also good parents and that took personal responsibility and to make sure their children were safe every day of their life, and then for them to take that control away from us and just tear everything apart. I mean, can you imagine? I don't think my children are now young adults that were taken. They're not going to be able to be doctors like their three siblings. I don't imagine, because what is Child Protective Services and the Department of Children and Families, what are they producing? Did anybody ever look into those statistics? That they're either going to be drug addicts, they're going to be prostitutes, they're going to be dropouts, they're going to be on drugs. What is all the beeping? See, that's, I don't know what's going on, guys. Yes, I saw that. I can say I'm sorry. So we don't got a big audience today, but it's okay. We're getting out there, and everybody can watch this later, in fact. And so a lot of people saying, Brenda, why are you doing it in the morning? Well, sometimes I wonder, because there's a lot of times I don't want to roll out of bed, but you got to get this, you got to get up, you got to get motivated, and you got to get through your day. Okay. And, I can tell you it gets harder and harder, especially when your family members are continually taken away from you. It's pretty scary. And that's what I was talking about with my son as well, is like it seems like they put you into this circle of that you're just not getting anywhere, because like once your children are taken, then you're always ending up having to be at court, and then all of a sudden you're being arrested for this and that, when we were like, what, we never committed a crime in our life, and never been arrested, anything like that. No record at all. Well, we moved to Dixie County, Florida, and all of a sudden my husband runs for sheriff, and okay, well, now you're being arrested for a little bit of marijuana. You're being arrested for eavesdropping. You're being arrested for, I mean, is there anything else that they can make up? My God. Because we taped a conversation that, I'm sorry, my memory's not so great. Can I tape your conversation so that I can review it later and I won't forget what you're telling me? Why are you afraid for me to tape you? Because what you're telling me is a bunch of lies and a deceit. I could remember, I know that, like Pam was saying, talking about birthdays. I mean, how do you get through these birthdays? You can't even see your kid on their birthday. And I remember we had this big celebration prepared on the day, not on Sage's birthday, but on the day that we were going to have a visit. So her favorite color was blue. I made a cake that was blue on the inside, blue frosting. All these, my relatives and friends had sent cards and gifts for Sage. And they knew we were going to do this. They knew at the visitation center that this was going to happen. And I get a call that morning, and I didn't even make it to the phone in time. Like I was like, and then I tried to call back right away, and it was like the casework supervisor at the time, the lady Dory Rary. She keeps changing her name too. I know she's still up there with the Partnership for Destroying Families, or Devereaux. They're one and the same of abducting children and abusing them. I mean, they're all over the country. I know there's Pennsylvania. They've called them out for sexual assault on children through this Devereaux. But in any case, she calls me up and or no, when I call back, because I've checked my machine, and the message was, sorry, Miss Cameron, we had to cancel your visit today. And we'll make it up to you. That's what the recording said. I call back right away. Of course, the phone's ringing. Nobody's available. And to come to find out, that oh my God, I didn't even remember, because there's been so much crap that was going on for one thing to the other. But so even though we were promised that we were going to get a visit made up for, we didn't have a visit for months after that, because what happened was this Florida Department of Law Enforcement wanted to bring up some stupid stuff. I swear to God, it was so ridiculous. They'll make up anything to stop you from seeing your kids, and that's what I figured out. So this is what happened. They said that they had a tape of my daughter Sage, who is autistic, like we had talked about before, and that this tape, she said there was something inappropriate that happened with her and her dad, and that it was on tape. So since my husband happens to be running for sheriff at this time, the morning we were supposed to go to court for the children, and this was after we still didn't know why our visit was canceled and why didn't we get any more visits. We had no idea. Okay. And this went on for weeks and weeks. It seemed like years that we weren't able to see the kids or have any contact with them. And morning, before the sun came up, Florida Department of Law Enforcement come and raided our home.
In the heart of our great nation, where the strength of our communities is built upon the foundation of strong and loving families, an urgent crisis is unfolding. Child Protective Services, CPS, an institution designed to safeguard our most vulnerable, has in many cases betrayed its noble mission. Too often, families are torn apart not by neglect or abuse, but by systemic failures and corruption. We can no longer stand idly by as these injustices continue. We are here to give a voice to those who have been isolated, to shine a light on the corruption, and to rally our fellow citizens in this critical fight for justice. Every day, countless families are caught in a web of bureaucracy and abuse of power, their lives disrupted and their bonds shattered. Children, who should be nurtured and protected, are instead placed in situations that can be just as, if not more, harmful than the circumstances from which they were taken. Parents, often bewildered and powerless, face insurmountable odds as they fight to reunite with their children.
Y'all, have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow morning. And hopefully Darren is up then. All right. Still love you. All right. Bye-bye.